Well, Jack Maney asked 2 questions. First, can I swim? And he gives a spot fucking like within the reach of a pier off the coast somewhere. Nigga, my father owned a boat and I've done open water swimming regularly in my life. Not big on ocean, but I can fucking cliff dive and shit. Like I can swim, motherfucker. Um, Secondly, he brought up the important topic of the lack of emotional support network and asked why I don't have one. There were 2 major halves to it. First of all, I was raised in isolation by extremist parents that would, even after I was 18, would take the phone out of my hand, cut me off from the outside world. The most barbaric, stringent, the most flabbergasting, even self-reflect. They would admit, like, okay, we went too far a couple of times, but safe to sorry, right? I was kept in isolation my whole childhood, and then immediately upon hitting adult, I got disowned for being a nigger lover. Basically, I hit on all the teenage girls around me and a classmate that I'd grown up with but never spoken to. Literally, 12 years. This is my last year of high school. Never talked to her, but grew up with her. In the same class, like just turn your head around, he's right there, and then hook up, and then right away, boom, that's it. But then I'm mentally ill and I don't develop friendships very well, and people fuck with me like crazy, so I'm too retarded to gain any friendships. So it's just always been 0. Always. Less than 0, actually. The few times I've bothered trying, haters. I mean, look at this. Look at you. Crowd. I just put a simple statement out to the community. I'm going to do another protest. I'm expecting the police to bully me. Want to come watch? That was too much. So I do solo. Like, fuck you niggers. And I think that's one of the reasons you all hate. Like, I can't believe they got the middle school girls in. These girls are so fucked up. It's 2 sisters that fuck each other. One of them's a tranny that changed into a man. The father used to rape the hot one. The not hot one is masculine and plays softball and is just a walking stereotype. I got a chance to interact with them because they were the neighbor's grandkids growing up. It's ridiculous to look them up and stick them on me. But somehow we've got them involved. Probably the Coltonwood vlogs. Probably. I mean, I know, hold on. They definitively talked to Coltonwood vlogs thinking it was me. We've been over that. That's what came of it, I don't know. But let me tell you this, if you DM the pedophile, you'll get results. Like, how bad is it is the only question. I don't care. It's like burnt. I wish I could write a program just to limit, if you visit any of the Troll Brigade Mafia or Salty Swimmers or any of the alt-right Stop the Steal, COVID is a hoax shit, if you even visit that stuff, you're blocked. You can never find me again. There's no people from those camps that want anything to do with it. And get this, a transsexual right-winger, redneck, a girl so masculine she can pass herself off as a white bigot, a man. Damn, I had no self-confidence in middle school, so I picked the uglier one because I didn't dare go for the hot one. And she was nice. There's a different part to it. The hot one was a little preppy stuff, got bitch. But then I come to find out the hot one is sucking her daddy's dick for beer. And then I'm still getting blue balled. I'm sitting there like, you'll fucking put out for a 6-pack, but not for the poor boy up the street, like not a real interpersonal relationship. Oh, that's where I am. Like, I'm less than the recyclables after a long weekend. I'm less than the trash pile, the recycle bin. Yeah. And the romantic story I tell about almost getting laid with her sister, for me it was romantic, but only I was there, and only I know when my mother yelled at me that I was grounded, how quickly it burst the bubble. They're like, never mind, fuck. They were horny teenagers that dined just, all right, fuck, I get nothing else, fuck. For a half second, thought about it, and that's the best I'm ever gonna get in life. Whew. Fuck niggas. Fuck the human race. And then this bitch runs off and she's had like 3 kids. She's an incestuous whore that's been to prison, is into gangs and shit. Her sister's a tranny that fucks her, and she has 3 kids by random black dudes. Like, and trust me, I don't care. That's the only good part. Hybridization leads to strong offspring. That's, but she's raising them in Ohio, so they're gonna have a horrible put upon life because people are gonna bully them and be bigots to them. I don't agree with that. That's why I left. As soon as I learned how, I came from the country to bumfucked Egypt to the city in Cincinnati, because it was the only place with buses and urban area. Like, there could have been, Lexington was technically closer to my home area, but Lexington's kind of still country. Like, it's weird. It's still it's not city. So I went to Cincinnati's the closest possible city for me to go to, and I learned how to be urban. Then soak out, nigga. Gone. Like, I just needed a training course, and I ain't never, even to travel. I still haven't made good on my threat, and it's an accurate one. I will do it at some point. Just to go home and get video where I'm from. Just a weekend, just a couple of days. That should have been one of my big tips that Aaron was going to bully me, because he wouldn't do that for me. I'm like, hey, you got cars and shit, just drive up the road a couple of miles and take some video of my old place and give it to me so I don't have to actually worry about it. No, he couldn't do that. And I didn't fucking cut him loose. I got to start obeying my sixth senses. I was also going to test his ass with StarCraft. I was like, look, I know how the analytics work. I can look at someone's numbers and watch a little bit and learn their mental acuity. Like, it's like a test. Let's see how fast he can pick this up. And then he went down to be tested because he knew what I would find. A self-obsessed, narcissistic bully. I'm not weird. I'm like the anti-hero when it comes to narcissism. I'm stuck with it, but I didn't give a fuck about this. My YouTube started purely, I wasn't starting a YouTube. I was trying to show a lawyer video of me getting abused. And that was it was Subway. The oldest video I took was LA Fitness, but I didn't upload it right away. I was on a hot search for what just happened, and the Subway video was the first one I ever uploaded. And later, after I had a place to upload stuff, I went back and got the oldest video. The first one I ever uploaded was Subway. And I'm like, look, they're fucking with me. And that's the exact, when I just did my tour back through LA and got the crowd restraining order and shit, the corner where I was on, where I did my little business and shit and talked to some locals who were actually friendly with me, which was cool. That was right there in front of that Subway. That was like my corner on Sepulveda Western. And then I went to the gaming place that replaced CyberLab, and they were bigoted and fucking hated on me. Not for the dog, for white and poor. And I can't tell you which is more, white or poor, but it was a nicely decorated place, and I'm looking pretty poor. But it's also in the Asian town. It was all Asian. Like, there used to be some white and black and Latino people there, but now it's all Asian. So I wasn't welcome, and I got laughed at. And that's technically where all this started. The birth of my YouTube was right there. So my old neighborhood got gentrified, and the street people were cool with me, but the businesses pissed on me. And I didn't know how. It's a different ownership or whatever, different dude, not completely different, just same location. Oh, so much in my story. People kept telling me I should write a book, and now I've basically got around to do it. You niggas don't even know there are so many untold chapters. And that's one of the things these bitches got me twisted about, is I wanted to talk to someone from my past that could see the transformation. No one in the YouTube days knows. Like, the earliest video, I got ruder and more aggressive as the time went on, but day one, the first video, the Subway video we were just talking about, was me standing up to the cops, standing up to the employee. Go ahead, call the cops. I have the penal code off the top of my head. I can calmly, clearly tell you what you should do. I don't care if the cops got guns. I'll stand my ground. I'm not going to run. Go ahead, call them. I'll sit here and wait. Day one, I was in the YouTube, I was standing up to the cops. The problem is, that was on the second service dog after years of battling with the service dog discrimination and people kicking me, and the dog improved my mental health and gave me a lot of motivation and self-worth, or whatever, however you want to say that. And before that was a dark time here in California, and before that was a brief social but also dark time here, and before that was a hyper dark time of next to no socialization in Kentucky, and before that was college, which was also no social. It's just all dark all the way back. You've got nothing. You know nothing. But when I finally learned not only to stand up for myself, but to pull out a camera and record it and document it and post it and tell everyone, you don't know anything about the old me. And I think my bullies need to get a little education course, and I need to learn a little bit about my old me, because maybe if they realize how much closer I am to snapping than they would think, than a passerby would think, that might change their risk analysis. My threats have scared off 8 generations of the Troll Brigade Mafia. Let's get rid of this number 10. Let's send them packing for the hills. Let's send them to their therapists. Let's get the cameraman and get his address. Let me go beat up a fucking snot nose. A pedophile partner that crossed over to 18 and is now green lights all the way, baby. You know, show these people, give a demonstration what happens for the other kids, because when he gets in there and he wants to raise another generation of trouble game off, and he gets a couple of kids to participate, like, look, you're either gonna die or you're gonna get older. If you fucking mess with this gang stalking shit and then you get older, bad things happen, son. Let's set some examples. Let's do some more shit like Lucifer, like show up on his house. Yeah. That's what we need to do. Scare some motherfuckers. Get some more eyes on. So someone's watching if something happens to me. Fuck. Now I want to go get that beer. I'm doing laundry and I can't decide whether or not to get my beer. It's all right here. Like I Ubered to laundry. The laundry's in. The fast food Chinese place is right there, and the grocery's right there. And I even got a beer cooler. It's super hot out, and the beer will get warm quickly. So I got a ice an igloo 6-pack holder. That's what it's for, to keep your beer chilly while you're sweating in the desert. Too many people have told me I should write a book. I gotta take that shit seriously. I'm still sandbagging you fucking diggers. You have no idea what you're messing with. I'm gonna have to get the doctor to give me pills. I'm gonna have to go on testosterone. I don't think this is all a good idea, the way this shit's dragging me, but I'm getting old and gonna die weak if I don't, so, you know, it forces your hand, but this is gonna be very, very dangerous. I don't know what's gonna happen. No, I still haven't got the Viagra. And I can do it as I please. Like, well, I mean, I've been pretty broke. Almost flagrantly, but if I really wanted to, I could get it done. I almost went to WeHo when I was in LA, but I didn't have time. But it's so easy, the way our spoiled little SoCal asses. The train is pleasant. Both trains going Orange County to LA are nice rides and comfortable, and they don't jerk you around and make you tired. You can do work and shit. There's even tables and power. I can bring a laptop. I can be in LA whenever I want. The people that hate me seem to be the most loyal fans, so I might as well make everyone hate me, right? So fuck you, Carolyn and Kimberly. You blue balled me back in the day, and I never really got over it. It wouldn't. You could suck your daddy's dick for beer, but you couldn't hook me up with a hand job? Let me eat your pussy? Something? Jesus. Jeez, what the fuck? And yeah, I was a nerd, but that would have helped so much. I would have changed, or you would have left and come back. I would have lost weight and gotten in shape. I would have been better. Like, it would have felt less remorse. Jeez, that's a hard pill to swallow. You would suck your own daddy's dick before a real life interpersonal relationship of a virgin. There was absolutely no risk of STDs and shit. Like, come on. Some people would like that. Some girls would like taking a dude's virginity. And you were like, nah, better to laugh at him and watch him writhe. That's cold. I thought of someone's for the trolls. The only way you can turn the clock back anymore is to get the cousin that blue balled me. Laura Michelle Nykirk was her name as a kid. I don't know. I know she did get married. I know it's a big word. I think she got married at some point. I don't know anything else. That's the only way you can turn the clock back any further. Good luck. I'm just using you at this point for using your data resources. I want to laugh at that bitch for blue balling me, because I know for a fact she was blue balling me. I didn't know how to masturbate. It was like 6 years before I had an orgasm. This is like 6, 7 years old. But I know she did in retrospect, because she had a salt shaker full of water she used to lubricate her clit with. Obvious what's going on there. but I didn't know. I had the adhesion, so every erection was horrifically painful. That wouldn't have applied to Carolyn and Kimberly in the later set, though. At 15, the 2 years was a rough 2 years, but there was the adhesion wasn't a problem. The always having open wounds from tearing it open, that was that phase. That progresses to this day. It was worse as a teenager, but it's never ever gone away. Actually, it got worse. There was a time in 2013 where I got blue balled, and I went like an entire month without jerking off or anything, and it got soft and weak, and it started tearing more often after that. Like it wasn't able to take the abuse anymore. And within another 2 or 3 weeks, that had the accident where it shattered my shoulder. And ever since then, it kind of fuzzes the data, but after the horrific injury and the tons of opioid pain medication, dragging myself through the desert near death, then I was just depleted as a man and over when I came back from that. So it's still soft, and I don't know if I could ever get it back into shape, so to speak. I'm not sure that there is. So I was curious about the Viagra, like, what would happen? It's the old unstoppable force, unbreakable object, whatever that quote is. Like, what's going to give first, my will or the fabric of the universe? It's a no. It's bad. That's why I had to stop having sex and shit, because I'm going to end up killing someone. Fuck. This one does hurt, though, I will not lie. That realization that a bitch is so cold, or looks at you and thinks you're so ugly, or whatever is she would literally blow her own biological father for beer money and not hook you up. That's hard. Like, that's... You, and remember, I almost did get them horny enough, or I did get them horny enough to have sex. My mother cut it off. That it would have been teenagers alone out in the woods. It's not that hard to think and imagine at like 15 to it's not really that big of a deal. Wow, a 15-year-old girl got sexually excited. But the fact I could barely get to that point in Last Man on Earth situation shows you just where I was. Like, if there's anything anywhere, it's just, there's no, if I was on a desert island with bitches, we see what would happen. One of them would become a tranny and fuck the other one. It's not gonna, it's just, no, it's that bad. And I want to be strict on this because I'm going to end up catching hate over it. I don't hate trannies for being homosexual. I hate them for wasting money on plastic surgery to fit into societal norms. You're a female that represents masculine. You don't need to fucking dress up funny. I don't do much in designer clothes, and I'm hard on all that, any of that shit anyway, jewelry, all that, any of that stuff, fake tits, all that. You just accept that you're a masculine female and lesbian. Surgery to make you look different. It's just cosmetic surgery. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of everyone's time. It's just like pregnancy and surrogacy and shit. There should be no surrogate children. There should be no fertility doctors. There should be no frozen sperm, because there's unwanted children everywhere on Earth. It's ridiculous. So I don't have any problem with her being gay. And I was going to, before the fucking little treachery shit, I was going to say, hey, I'll give you the privilege of being the first dick I've ever sucked for free. I don't care. I'd have sex with her. That's not the case. I've probably had more men than either one of them have. I've only had like 70 something, but it's for people to waste a whole bunch of money on cosmetic bullshit offends me. I don't care who you are, what walk of life you are, which way it is, but it's the direction I'm more comfortable with. I hate feminine bitchy people, and it doesn't matter if they're women or men. I hate like snotty, the nasal and lispy S's. That I can't stand that. So if you're a dude doing it or a girl doing it, I hate the feminine. I'm far more comfortable with masculine. So a girl that went to a dude, I'm far more comfortable with them. I got a couple of Facebook friends like that I'll fucking joke with, and even sexually joke with, and that's fine with me. But it's, if you go and spend thousands of dollars on it, that's not. Same with sex toys, like maybe $100 cap on the dildo. Beyond that, there's dudes out there that are fucking you. I mean, come on. Unless you're gonna go with like a full sex doll to replace a partner and you stay out of marriage and relationships and shit, that I guess that's an economically, you can argue for that for efficiency, but so get this, the nicer, sweeter one was the masculine one, and the bitchy top was the feminine one. Oh, that hurt so much though. I was weak, I was scared, but they could have taken my hand and changed my life and given me something to hold dear and made me so much more self-confident. But nah, I don't have a 6-pack of beer to give them, so I ain't worth it. That's pretty fucking rough. It would have, if I'd have gotten laid right there at the beginning of high school, it would have changed everything. I remember what it was like when I finally did get laid. Paid a top class whore at 17 and a half. At the bitter end, it was too late. And I do have to accept some of the responsibility for not being as aggressive as I should have been, but it's a virgin. There's some, come on, take me by the hand, show me the way, do me a favor. And then they fucking holler at me and find out I'm poor. I'm going to publish the messages later. You should see the order of messages, like down at the bottom, like the last, she wanted to talk, and then my message was like, yeah, I've been homeless and destitute for most of the last 18 years, and I guess that decided which way they were going to go, troll or there isn't an other side, there isn't a my side, or whether or not you're going to join the trolls. And that's like, nah, fuck this nigga. The only reason they would even give a fuck about me is my parents were rich. Those aren't even my real parents. I have to go back and settle some scores. I want to find the Crabtrees too, my immediate next door neighbors. They built their dream home, a nice house on a lake lot in a nice rural subdivision, and it was cut. She's an artist and she paints stuff. She painted one of her kitchen wall, like it was a giant mural, a 20-foot long, 12-foot high mural, hand painted, like jungle scene with waterfalls and shit. And the house, she built the house and had it designed. It was on a massive lot with all this land around it and gardens, her own space. It was her clear dream house. And they moved inexplicably when I was in like late middle school. And I think it was because the screaming was bothering them. Their neighbors, one house further, one Kentucky house further, which is, we're talking a long way, 1/8 of a mile. Those were the ones that actually came out and complained about me screaming too much and getting beat. But the Crabtrees tried to hook me up several times. She tried to take me to Kings Island. She went and somehow got a teenage girl and brought her over to her, had her at her house, and then took us both to the local swimming pool, public swimming pool. Like there was, the way she talked to me, and looking back, she was clearly trying to help me. But my mother would have to interfere and then crack down on me, and I'd have to pay a price for having talked to someone on a personal level. We're talking hard field labor. That was a rough time period. It was so confusing. And then the other neighbor too I want to talk to, two up to south, second house to the south. He gave me driving lessons. He had a Cadillac, a nice Cadillac, and would stop when I was out on punishment walking or kicked out of the house walking around Somerset, and stop, and he'd give me, I don't even remember the man's name, I'm not sure I ever knew it, but he just knew I was the abused neighbor kid, so he tried to give me some life skills. But none of them ever called the cops. Everyone just sat back and watched it happen. These rich white Christian people that have big guns and military medals, they get away with whatever they want to do. They're a different class. This is their country, not ours. They'll buy and sell humans like chattel. Just a pawn in this game. I guess even a pawn can check a king.